Formula 1 returns to Silverstone for round 9 of the 2018 season, the British Grand Prix. And with this race being the effective home-from-home Grand Prix for many of the teams, as many of them are not based far from the Silverstone circuit, all teams will be pushing 110% to achieve a good result for all the people back at base, especially the two British entrants of Williams and McLaren, although McLaren will need a minor miracle to get anywhere close to the points come race day. Another driver needing a minor miracle is Robbie Kubica, as the pole suffered 3 retirements in the opening 8 rounds. He could only manage a mere 6 laps in FP1 before having to come back into the pits with yet another car issue. However, fortunes look to be going up and up for Sauber, as Matsushita scored a point on his debut last time out, and the Toyota reserve driver is keen to repeat that come race day here on Silverstone. Renault also come to this race with a raft of new upgrades which are hoping should see the French outfit compete for the top 10 more often, as they look to claw their way out of 8th place and get closer to the battle for 6th with Haas and Sauber. Rain would cause chaos in qualifying, but not that Lewis Hamilton will get to set a lap time. He's never even left the grid in first qualifying, with Pierre Gasly lining up slowest of those to set a lap, which meant that Carmen Jordan, for only the 2nd time this season, gets off of the back row, and completing row 9 is Matsushita in the Sauber. Lance Stroll would also get knocked out in Q1, and Rio Haryanto would manage to drag his McLaren through into Q2, but could go no higher than 15th. Adrian Sutil could only manage 14th in the Ferrari, with Max Verstappen vocally disappointed to only line up 13th in the Red Bull. Kvyat wouldn't fare much better, lining up in 12th, with Josh Cherry lining up in 11th with what was fastest of the drivers who set a time on wet tyres. Carlos Sainz once again shows prowess in the wet conditions to take it top 10 for Toro Rosso, with Mick Schumacher lining up in 9th as the lead of the Haas. Charles Leclerc starts from 8th for Sauber, which left Camille Kobayashi lined up in 7th, flying the flag for Toyota, 13 places ahead of his teammate. Pascal Wehrlein lines up in 6th. Mercedes and Daniel Ricciardo, with a wildly lap, starts from 5th in the seemingly much improved Renault. His teammate Hulkenberg will go one better to line up in 4th, and making it all German row 2 is 5-time world champion Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari. This left the front row to be decided by Fernando Alonso in 2nd, and Robbie Kubica, who once again, despite his early issues, takes pole for the British Grand Prix. Hey guys, Tyro here. Welcome back to the UniONE career, this time round 9, the British Grand Prix. Our home race, and a home race for a lot of the teams for where they're based as well. They may not be entered as British outfits, but a lot of the teams here are based within like a few minutes drive of the circuit. And now then, the two Renault starting from 4th and 5th. The wet weather really suiting their upgrades, it seems, but they haven't had the best race pace so far this season, so I'm pretty sure they're going to have to pull out the fight of their lives if they want to keep this position. Also, talking of fights of their lives, Carlos Sainz starting inside the top 10 in the Toro Rosso Honda, which is one of the worst cars on the grid along with the McLaren, so I'm honestly expecting Sainz to drop like a stone once we actually get onto the race. And also, Lewis Hamilton starting in dead last place, Toyota being tight-lipped on why they didn't send him out in first qualifying, but starting from last place. Points should be on the offer, but anything higher than 7th or 8th I think might be quite unlikely for the 2008 champion. Now looking back into us now, starting in P11. So we started down here before, back in Spain, but Britain's never been the best for us. We were the fastest on wet tyres to everyone else in front of us. The other 10 drivers all got a timing on Inters in Q2, which is why a lot of us, the two Rebels, are starting back down here outside the top 10. And coming to the 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. Can we get a good start for once in this season? Looks like a fairly start in front with like teammate Kubica and Fernando Alonso coming down now into turn 1. Just like, can we all get through here? It's a bit of a pinch point here, these first few corners. They're running out a bit wider. Actually, there's something wrong with it. There's a bit of a crash. And there's one of the Red Bulls involved as well. And Sauber in a smash round. The Red Bulls now off the track. We just about managed to skate through all of that. I think damage through, although we are sparking away a little bit. But then again, our car does spark quite a little bit anyway. I think there's a few more cars coming through. One of the Sauber, one of the Ferrari as well, which should be Adrian Sutil. Now we're still in P11, so we're back up to where we started the race. We now got the Red Bull of Danny Kvyat in front of us, and Charles Leclerc is now behind us. So I don't know which of the Saubers that was that ended up spinning like 90 degrees across the track into the like 7 or 8 oncoming cars. Either way though, Kvyat's looking very racy up now behind the back of that Toro Rosso. Of course, since we have a top 12 point system, I think that Toro Rosso not going to put too much of a fight. Also, Carlos Sainz really be wanting to make amends for hitting the back of Daniel Kvyat back at the French Grand Prix, so I'm not expecting to put too much fight here to the Red Bull driver. No, 3 Max in the back. Let's give it a pulse inside. Now it's going to be side by side. 3 Max makes on the outside, which Tessie inside. Just breezes right around the outside of the Toro. So great driving there from Daniel Kvyat. So great driving well from Carlos Sainz to not completely punt the Russian off of the track. But once again, just showing how good that downforce and chassis on that Red Bull is. And now Sainz in the slipstream there. Can he try and come back now? The Red Bull doesn't look like it. Further front, they've got Kamui Kobayashi, the sole survivor in qualifying for Toyota, to try and make a move on the house of Mick Schumacher. Coming now into the final few corners now to end out the first lap. It's going to be side by side between two of them again. Nice to actually hear from the halo shot here. Daniel Kvyat's Red Bull with the team front going side by side up in front. And it looks like Kamui Kobayashi gets the better there of Mick Schumacher. Now we can try and gain now on Carlos Sainz in that Toro Rosso. Like I said, Toro Rosso has not a lot in the way of speed so far this season. I haven't really brought any race to this race. Well, trying to look up the inside there in the first few corners. There's a huge rocket there from Carlos Sainz. Sainz clearly feeling the pressure here from our BMW Williams, because every car in the race behind him pretty much is going to be faster than in this Toro Rosso until you get down to the two McLarens and then Pierre Gasly at the back. Now then, of course, no DRS here. We won't have DRS until the start now of the next lap, so it's going to be about pure slipstream now. Going down into the second section, looks like we're going to still have to stick behind the Spaniard through here, because not really getting overtaking opportunity, although we have found a few overtakes right here in the pass, and Sainz runs out a bit wide there. We can sneak it up the inside line. Sainz runs out a bit wide, just trying to power that car through the corners. A bit too much for what that Toro Rosso can do, because not the greatest downforce or chassis in the world on that Toro Rosso. But now, talking of great chassis, now then we've got the Red Bull now down to Kvyat right to the back now of Mick Schumacher. I'm sure Schumi's been told now that we are the car now behind down to Kvyat, so I'm sure he's going to want to try and hold up the Russian as much as we can, so hopefully we can try and catch it up first. Of course, since he's in the BMW B team, he'll surely have to have the interest of making bits of though as the priority when we're behind him. Now gaining insulation now, still no DRS. We've got Schumi going to this line, and Kvyat looking all over the back now. There's a huge lock up though from Mick Schumacher, runs out a bit wide and gets back onto the race line. It's all flustered there. I mean, the presence of that Red Bull darting all over the road is really just pretty much scared Mick Schumacher off of the track. And then we've got Carlos Sainz now up behind him, so if Sainz can try and put on a good run for me, you remember back to the French Grand Prix, Sainz, well, we always know it was his teammate Gasly that sort of kept up with the Haas, so Sainz is going to need to do the same here. He's going to try and keep up. Now then, looking at a replay here of the side, following here on the Sauber of Charles Leclerc. Go on the Haas, up the inside line. There's a bit of contact there with the Haas, and that's the slides, and he loses it and smashes into the Red Bull. So it was Charles Leclerc at the start, smashes off at least half of his front wings. I'm not seeing anything there on the left side, but somehow I don't know how he kept his wheel out, honestly. Looking at the Red Bull here of Max Verstappen, so this was the Red Bull that got clouted by that Sauber. As Verstappen is following his teammate into the first corner. He sees the Sauber there run out wide, and the Sauber slides back into him. We're on the outside, and Verstappen has nowhere to go, so really can't put any fault there on Verstappen. He's literally had nowhere to go. Of course, he can't stop. He got about 7 or 8 cars to plough to the back of him, so he had no choice really but to go for the crash, and he was lucky there to still have all wheels attached to his car. And taking another gear now further back from Pierre Gasly and Toro Rosso, who started pretty much dead last, so you pretty much have a clear view of everything that happened. So you're pretty much taking it out. You've got Hamilton there up his inside now into turn 1. Everything coming to a standstill. Verstappen has to reverse off the track just to get out of the way, and Gasly puts in reverse as well, just to give himself a bit of space to assess what's going on, because there's loads of debris here all over the track. You've got one of the Sauber that's stuck on the curb. That has to be Matsushita in the other Sauber, since Leclerc actually managed to get going pretty okay. And Matsushita actually gets going off the curbing as well, but it's quite some way down now since it is only his second race, and seeing your teammate plough into a Red Bull, even I wouldn't really know what to do in that situation. Man, looking onto the end of what was the first lap, of course Leclerc has to come in now for a new front wing. And there you can see the Red Bull pit crew out as well. Of course that has to be for Verstappen, but both of them surely must have some kind of suspension on. I'm pretty sure the wheels definitely took some sort of the impact from that. And the Sauber crew are actually waiting, so Leclerc must have got a 5-second time penalty for that collision. I mean, it's a bit harsh since it is first lap, first corner, and he was sort of squeezed onto the curb, but at the end of the day, I'm not the stewards, and the stewards gave him the penalty. Now he actually has to get a hell of it as well before Verstappen, pretty much just to rub it in even more for Leclerc and for Sauber. Now both of them now down in the last 2 places, and we know both of them are supremely quick drivers, and they need to show now if they get any points from this race. We're now back on the live action. Got the 2 runners here, Linus down still, so they've still actually kept their starting positions, I think, of 4th and 5th. And here we've got the second runner here of Daniel Ricciardo, keeping up pretty well actually with Nico Hülkenberg. And honestly, at this point in the race, Hulk might actually be holding up Daniel Ricciardo. You can see you got a bit of a train behind. You know Renault's like to cause a few trains in the past when they had Jarno Trulli, called all those Trulli trains back in the early 2000s. Now then, coming through back to the Beggy, he's got Ricciardo now all over the back now, because it's a bit further on now. He'll have DRS now. I see now, is DRS enough to get Daniel Ricciardo ahead? Oh, his teammate Nico Hulkenberg's got the Mercedes there, Pascal Wehrlein right behind as well. And coming now into the right hand, is not quite close enough there to make a move. Actually, there's a load of smoke. There's smoke pouring out now out the back of this Renault, and Ricciardo's pulling off. They're going really, really slowly now. Everyone's just going straight past the Aussie.
Nothing that you can say could make that any better. Just save it.
Of course, there, Ricciardo understandably furious there. He's having probably the race of his life. Now, looking back now, this is all the cars we've got past us. So, it's firstly Wehrlein, Kobayashi, then we've got Kvyat, and then we're just catching on now to the back of this train of cars. Of course, 4 different cars here, 5, because Hulk's managed to get up the road a bit. So, with Ricciardo going slowly, he managed to hold up the cars behind. So, let's give his teammate Hulkenberg a little bit of breathing space. To imagine Ricciardo couldn't care less about giving his teammate Hulk a bit of breathing space, because Ricciardo looked like he was going to line up Hulk for a move in a few laps' time. Now we've got Kobayashi gaining on the back now. Pascal Wehrlein asking us to go fence to the inside line. Kobayashi going to try for a switchback possibly, but Wehrlein there just has a line covered. And Kobayashi now really, yeah, he has some good races so far this season, but he really has to be on his day. It's not like consistently where he's up here, but now he really has to put in the work now since Hamilton starting way down the order. And then Daniel Kvyat, of course, right at the back though. Always Toyota, because all these cars have different strengths and weaknesses. Of course, the Toyota I think is the fastest thing in a straight line out of these three. The Red Bull is the best through the corners. And that Mercedes is a bit of an in-between between the Toyota and the Red Bull. Now through the high-speed corners, it actually looks like the Merc's pulling away a little bit, so some good downforce there on the Mercedes. You know, they're running a pretty low-drag downforce car design for this season. Now they're getting in the DRS. Kobayashi now, can you try and make a move? On Pascal Wehrlein, he's gaining line switching, he can pull to the inside now. On the German now, it's going to be side by side now, up into this right hand, and Kobayashi managed to make a mistake and then moves aggressively back onto the racing line, so Pascal Wehrlein can't go for a switchback move. But coming now into the final few corners, is Wehrlein trying for a dive back inside. No, he's not quite close enough to the back there of that Toyota. Now coming through the final corners now, this will be where you need to keep to the back. All the we've seen through the high speed corners that Mercedes looks to be good, so imagine through the low speed corners, the last few corners, Kobayashi is pulling away quite a bit there, so imagine through this fast 8 Kobayashi can try and put his foot down and try and pull a gap, because DRS so far this season seems to be very, very powerful. Because to all these battling now, it actually put us right into the back though of this Kvyat cars. All over the back now of Daniel Kvyat, trying to look for a pop up the inside there to show the nose to the inside, let Daniel Kvyat know that we're here. Of course, I'm pretty sure seeing a bright white car behind with a giant martini stripe, you pretty much couldn't miss it, like you can't in the Ferraris with their scarlet red. Now then, Kvyat gaining in the DRS now on the back of Pascal Wehrlein, coming now into the second sector. Once again, just not quite close enough to make a move. And now moving on to lap 10, trying to the Pecco, they'll be bossing at the end of this lap. You can see we dropped off quite a bit to their Q cars up in front. Doing a massive weather, the tyres have completely gone off the cliff now at this point, so I was just staying out just to stretch it to all these cars in front. It is a one-stop this race, so you didn't want to stop too early and then effectively you have to make it a two-stop, which would be even slower than just forcing yourself to stay out for a few laps longer. Of course, this pit lane is probably the slowest on the F1 calendar, probably in terms of time as well, and actual speed is about a 30-mile-an-hour pit lane here. Now then, just off from the Mercedes crew, Pascal Wehrlein gets back out now. We're going into a set of medium tyres. Now these mediums will take us to the race. We're in held actually for the Toyota as well. So Kobayashi's there dropped a place or two. He was definitely behind Wehrlein, I think, but now he's come out behind Kvyat as well. So not a good stop there for the Toyota pit crew. And we've actually got the Haas of Mick Schumacher, who's actually kept up pretty well to this battle. Of course, gaining a bit in the pits as well, not getting held up with anyone. So Mick Schumacher bringing himself into play. And actually, he's one of the McLarens as well. And that McLaren's really not too far behind either. So if it stays like this, McLaren could actually sneak themselves a point or two coming into the race, but he's going to need to put in a world of showing for whichever McLaren that is. But now moving on to the end of the next lap now. This is the battle up front now, and we've got our teammate Kubica still just about leading the race from Fernando Alonso, who could not be any closer to the back of the pole if he tried, because he'd actually be in his car if he's any closer. Now he goes onto a set of the medium tyres. So does our teammate now, Robert Kubica. Kubica actually gets held for the Mercedes, and now Alonso takes the lead effectively of the Grand Prix, but there was enough time there. He could have got Kubica right in front. Actually, you can pay something now. Comes Lewis Hamilton. So Hamilton's not actually too far behind the lead battle. And you just think if Hamilton started what he usually does in about 6th or 7th, he can be right up there in the fight for the lead, but starting in last place now, not too far off the lead. He should be in the top 12 by now, I think, once everything sorts itself out. So some great points could still be on the board yet for the 2008 champion. Now looking back towards, we actually go purple through the first sector split now. Onto lap 13, catching up now to Kamui Kobayashi. We're in a Toyota sandwich things down because Hamilton is about a second behind us. So Hamilton's had some supreme pace in this race so far. So once again, the home crowd is really coming through there. I feel Lewis Hamilton like he did back in his McLaren days as well. Now then, getting on the back now. Kamui Kobayashi pretty much just shows Kobayashi, he's got some good pace, but Hamilton started in last place and has effectively now caught him up. So Hamilton there really just outdoing his teammates so far this season now, throwing Maggis and Beckett. We need to try and get a good run out the exit here to try and get a run on Kobayashi now to come down the start finish straight now. DRS wide open now on the back of our BMW Williams. A good pull to the inside of Kamui Kobayashi. It's going to be a drag race now down. And it's going to just easily breeze past Kamui there, move aggressively back onto the racing line as well because we can, because we're in front, so you don't want to allow Kobayashi to move, try and make a move back past us. And then coming now into the final few corners. It looks like we're now clear of that Toyota, though. He's sure he's going to want to try and come back us now. We're now through the final few corners. Actually, we're pulling away quite a bit, and now coming over the finish line. Actually set a green lap there, half a second quicker than our previous best. So even though we were on effectively harder tyres, the pace is well there, of course, as the fuel is going to wear down as well. So the car's going to get lighter and lighter now to the end of the race. Now coming now through the first sector, we're going to need to pull away here through this first sector to not allow Kobayashi to try and come back us, because that Toyota is massively quick in a straight line. I think even more than what our Williams is. So now Kobayashi will now have the DRS over, which you can try and pull away. And now moving a bit further on, looking actually a bit further back now, we've got Max Verstappen. He's now actually behind one of the Saubers. So this surely must be Max Yoshida. Is catching up to now. He's getting out in the DRS on the back of that Sauber. He's going to pull now to the inside line. Actually, is that Charles Leclerc? I think that's Charles Leclerc's helmet. It can be so sad now. Leclerc actually overtook Verstappen somewhere in this race. At some point now, Leclerc just about keeps his nose in. Up the inside line, going to be side by side now into the final few corners. Leclerc fighting for his absolute life, it seems, in a Sauber, which is nowhere near as good as what the Red Bull is. They try and stick it around the outside line, but Verstappen just forces out the Monaco driver. Now, of course, imagine the things are going to get pretty personal between these two. Of course, now this start finish straight here into that turn 1A is also a DRS straight. Not that it actually makes too much of a difference, but what that has done is allowed the Sauber there of Charles Leclerc to keep right on the back wing there of Verstappen. Of course, since it's all slow speed corners through here and all the cars can get through slow speed corners, that means that Leclerc is still going to be pretty close behind Verstappen. Now he's going to have DRS now on the back of the Red Bull. And he's getting a load here on the back of Verstappen. Verstappen gets to line. Leclerc has to go around the outside line. Has to try and stick it around the outside line. Is he got enough downforce on that car just to hold it around the outside? No, he's just not quite got enough downforce, because unlike the Merc and Toyota, that Sauber achieves low drag by having a low downforce setup as well. Now then, this is where, through the second half of that, this is where that Sauber is going to be quick. He's keeping right glued to the back of that Red Bull, put it inside the zone. Max Verstappen now through the old time, we side by side Verstappen, just about keeping two wheels on track. So good respectful racing between the two of them now. And Leclerc actually pulls himself back in front of the Red Bull. Imagine Verstappen could be getting absolutely furious now under that helmet, because the Sauber is about a second or lap or so slower over a lap, but if you give it a good fight here, Leclerc can actually keep up, and just showing Leclerc he's just be supreme driver now. Verstappen pulls back to the inside line. These two surefire drivers now for many, many seasons to come, and still the fight goes on. Leclerc still actually even more up the inside line this time. Once again, could try and outbrake Verstappen now into the final few corners. Still going to be side by side now between the two of them. Once again, Leclerc's going to try and stick it now around the outside line. Verstappen still has the inside line of the inside, and manages to force out Leclerc even more that time. So Verstappen getting a bit more aggressive now. Imagine he's sick of looking at that Sauber now. Even more so, he's had a pretty good view of it all races, it seems. And this time coming through the end of the first sector now, it's like Leclerc's a bit further back. Moving all the way on to lap 20, so 7 laps further on from us at least anyway. We've now caught onto the back now of Daniel Kvyat. It's actually caught onto the back now of Pascal Wehrlein as well, so it looks like a three-way fight is going to come up pretty soon so far for 5th place in this race. Now we're all the way back now of Kvyat. Getting very close to the back of Kvyat there, almost smashing the Red Bull in the rear there, so I don't think we could have got any closer there without actually making contact with the back of that Red Bull. Of course, me and Daniel Kvyat now both being held up quite a bit, it seems, here by Pascal Wehrlein. And I'm saying, Wehrlein, he's had some pretty good races ever since Canada, but the pace is still seems to be lacking a little bit for the German this season compared to last year. Actually go green through the first out as well, 3/10 up, so of course we're getting DRS and slipstream off the back of these two cars in front of us once again. So close to the back here of Daniel Kvyat, we're just not quite close enough though to make a move on him. Right now Kvyat, this will be the high speed corner, the Red Bull's going to be supreme. And now he's getting on the back still. Pascal Wehrlein's going to pull it inside now. Pascal Wehrlein's going to be side by side now through the old turn 1. Now Kvyat can try and make the move up the inside line. Pascal Wehrlein's going to try and keep it right outside line, use that energy power, but Kvyat has the racing line and moves in front now. Into Max to back. Now, you know the Mercedes is good through here, but that Red Bull is even better. You can see the Red Bull just streaking away a little bit now, just using that good chassis and aero to pull away. But now then, we have DRS now. Just about on the back of two of them now, but now Wehrlein's going to have DRS now to try and come back now. And Daniel Kvyat now going to dive it up the inside line now. Going up now into the high-speed right-hander here, and Wehrlein gets himself back in front now of Daniel Kvyat. Now Kvyat now coming out in the final corner. Is he going to go for a torpedo dive back up the inside? No, he's just not quite close enough there to make him move back up the inside line. Actually, there's a car in front of these two. I think it was all flashed here. I think Hulkenberg is genuinely still in front of all of us here. So Hulkenberg having an absolute race of his career so far. Having some great pace in this race. Now then coming up now through the end of first second once again, we're all over the back still. Off down to Kvyat, getting very close to the back of the road once again. Almost pushing Kvyat through, and indeed it is Nico Hulkenberg still in front of all of us here. So Hulkenberg finds some mega pace in this race. I think because with all of us fighting here, it's costing ourselves so much time, and now down to Kvyat once again. Now in the DRS now on the back of Pascal Wehrlein coming now into the second sector once again. Just not quite close enough there to make a move on the inside line, but surely he's going to try make the same move they did last lap, or wait a little bit further on, because I'm sure Wehrlein's going to be wise to move up the inside now. And down to Kvyat's going to need a good run here off of this corner. It looks like he gets a pretty okay run. Looks like Wehrlein actually got a bit of a better run out of that corner. Now then coming down into the old turn one once again. He's not quite close enough to make a move on the inside line this time. It's going to be all about the runners. We run off the track. They're completely wide, running pretty much to a Brands Hatch, going out that wide. Now 3 Megas to Beckett. Down to Kvyat still all over the back here of that Mercedes AMG, because that Mercedes is good, but nothing is going to be as good as that Red Bull through the corners ever since really 2009. And Kvyat just going to pull to the inside now with Pascal Wehrlein, going to be side by side with the two of them now. Kvyat on the inside line. They're going to breaking in for a massive dive bomb, a do or die of the inside. We managed to get on the inside of Pascal Wehrlein. They're going side by side now with Kvyat just about sees us coming. And keeps it on the inside line, going for an absolutely mega dive from there, because the two of them were just costing each other so much time. I feel like I'm so much faster than both of them. And we just managed to make the move stick there up the inside line. Now then, we're front now with Pascal Wehrlein, and Wehrlein's going to be, imagine, going to be quite annoyed that he just lost 2 places in the World Cup. Now as Max Verstappen is now out of the Grand Prix, but I honestly don't think that's going to make any difference to his afternoon, because I'm pretty sure he's nowhere near the points anyway. So I think just pulling over and retiring is probably the best. It saves a bit of mileage on the engine. Although it is only going to be 4 lap save, that 4 lap save could be crucial to whether or not they've taken engine penalty later or not in the season. Now I'm getting on the back, so Danica has to go defensive to the inside line, so clearly feeling the presence here of us now going now through the middle section. Wehrlein gets red dive from the inside line, just gets a bit of a squirm on. Wehrlein is trying everything he can to try and make a move back up our inside. We're just not getting it so far. Now Wehrlein's now gaining in our slipstream now, because we got a pretty poor exit out of that corner. Now is Wehrlein going to try and make a move inside? No, he's not quite close enough there to make a move up our inside line. And then out of the corner we actually pull away a bit from Pascal Wehrlein. Now then coming now through the middle sector of the lap, through the Magnus and Beckett's now, it's going to be where we can try and keep close to the back of that Red Bull as what we can, because we're going to be in the dirty air on the back of that Red Bull as well. This Williams is not the best in the dirty air, but we keep it planted. Now again into the rest, we're going to pull side by side now. Danica got a massively good exit off the exit there of Beckett's. We just breeze past down to Kvyat like he's not even there really. Just showing the straight on speed deficit that Red Bull still have to just a supreme BMW engine here in a good low drag car as well. That is our Williams FW40. And I'm sure Kvyat's now going to want to try and come back with us now. Now then, coming around the final corner. We really try and pull in. Kvyat's actually getting back. Of course, we have DRS here on this first straight, so it's going to allow Kvyat to close it to us a little bit. Now coming through here, we need to pull away now from this Red Bull ASAP. But if you give a Red Bull DRS, then it's half decent in the straight line. I mean, and if they turn the engine up, then it's going to be really fast enough to come back us. We still got a lot of extra fuel saved up, still on plus 0.77 laps extra fuel, so we saved up a bit of his extra lap. Now Kvyat's now going to come back at us now with the DRS. Now Kvyat's now gaining in on slipstream. He's going to try and make a move to the inside line. We get defensive to this line, trying to force Kvyat now around the outside line. He runs out a bit wide, and Wehrlein makes contact there with Daniel Kvyat, and Kvyat loses place there with a bit of wheel bagging as well. So Kvyat loses his place there from trying to gain one back. But now then Kvyat will be in the slipstream once again on the back now of Pascal Wehrlein, but now Wehrlein will have the advantage of having slipstream and DRS now off the back of us. So if we can try and keep with us, actually Hamilton's not too far off the back of this queue. So Hamilton, if we keep fighting, Hamilton can really bring himself into play here for maybe even a top 5. And if he goes to top 5 from starting in dead last place, then that has to be one of probably the best drives of his career. Probably along with 2008 in the McLaren, where he won by by over a minute on this track. And now Kvyat, so in the DRS on the back of Pascal Wehrlein, but Wehrlein still DRS on the back of us, not close enough to make a move back up our inside line. And only about 3 laps left to go in this race now. Can we try and catch up now to Nico Hulkenberg and try and ruin Hulkenberg's party? Imagine he's going to be pushing flat out now. Imagine Renault going to be screaming at him on the radio just to give it everything he's got now, because the P4 finish would be great for Renault in their constructors fight. But now we're still pulling away now from Pascal Wehrlein behind us, because hopefully we can try and leave him now for dead, just to leave him to deal with Daniel Kvyat, because the two of them seem pretty even in this race. And we need to really try and pull away now, try and get after Nico Hulkenberg. So on to lap 24, just over 2 laps of this race left to go. And now gaining onto the back now of the Renault of Nico Hülkenberg. And it looks like now we're going to spoil his party pretty soon because we're catching up now to that Renault. That Renault, it shouldn't honestly be this high up now. As you actually go set the purple lap now, the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, to pretty much just to show a message of intent to Nico Hülkenberg that we are coming and I am coming now for his position. Going through the first sector, there's going to be nothing we can do here. We're going to have to wait to DRS because despite that Renault now having ERS, or their version of ERS anyway, it's still nothing compared to what we have in our BMW Williams. And then with the DRS now on the back of Nico Hülkenberg coming down, Sector Hülkenberg is effectively just allowing me to go purple through the first sector. Of course, with 2 bars of DRS, I'm not really surprised about that, but now we're all over the back now of that Renault. It's been a long time since a Renault has been legitimately up here in P4. Now we need a good run here out of the corner because we actually get a pretty even run here to Nico Hülkenberg because I'm sure it's going to be pushing our maximum attack. So I want to say medium size, so there's going to be no advantage between the two tyre compounds that we're on. Now it's going to be about flat out pace now for this final lap and a half. Going through Marcus Beckers, we've got some pretty wildly runs out of here so far, so we need to get it absolutely perfect here once again because Hülkenberg, I'm sure he's going to put up an absolute fight of his life. He's kept in front of us for all of the race so far, so he's going to keep it now with only just over a lap to go. Now we pull to the inside now of Nico Hülkenberg coming down now. In fact, I'm going to breeze past the Renault there, so that Renault really still lacking strong speed. And as Kvyat actually dives it back past Pascal Wehrlein as well, so there's an absolutely massive ding-dong battle there going on for what is that P6, I'm pretty sure, between Kvyat there and Pascal Wehrlein, which I'm sure that's going to go up until the Y, up until the finish line now to actually get 6th place. But now Hülkenberg's actually coming back to us now within the DRS. So Hülkenberg, I'm sure you must have some fuel and some higher engine mode saved up. Because now we're really feeling the presence here of that Renault. I really wasn't expecting Hülkenberg to actually keep up with us, expecting him just to be a bit rather defeated. But Hülkenberg, he's going to fight for everything he's got now for this final to try and get back to this crucial P4 because these extra 2 points, that could be the difference between 6th place. That's where Renault are targeting now in the constructors for the remainder of this season. And then up in front of us, we've got a team of Kubica. And actually now, because we're on the final lap of the race, this is the effective fight for the lead. We've got Sebastian Vettel, who somehow kept this shed of a Ferrari in 2nd place. He's actually right up behind now Fernando Alonso. I have no idea when he got past Kubica or why Kubica dropped so far off the pace. But Sebastian Vettel has brought himself right into play now, coming up through Marcus Beckers now for the final time. It's going to be easily within DRS range. But now, has our Ferrari got enough oomph with its engine to try and make a move on Fernando Alonso's AMG power with Mercedes? Now it's gaining in the DRS now on the back of Fernando Alonso, coming up now. He's finally going to make a move up the inside. Alonso has to try to hold it now around the outside line here. Oh, Sebastian Vettel going to force him out right. See the scarlet red Ferrari there, the prancing horse on his helmet. And there's going to be a wheel bang there from Alonso. Alonso getting a bit of feisty now while he wanted. This is the fight for the lead, the fight for the win. They're coming up to the final 50 corners. And Alonso gets shoved out there by Sebastian Vettel. But Vettel dives it back up the inside line. He's side by side over the finish line. And who's just won the Grand Prix? I think that was literally a dead heat photo finish. I have no idea who's genuinely just won the Grand Prix. I know it's one of these two as we come around the final corner to get P4. But P4 from P11, I'd say that's a pretty good result for us. And we know where we finished, definitely in P4. Just keeping ahead of Nico Hülkenberg. But who's actually won the Grand Prix? Now looking at a replay here of these two going side by side now through the final corner. This could not be close to Vettel with the dive bomb back up the inside line. And now then, where's the finish line? It's going to be coming up pretty soon. There's a line here actually, no, that's the DRS line, that's not it. Now going a bit further on, he's gaining. Actually, there's the finish line here. Now then, who's actually ahead? That's a dead heat there between the two of them side by side. Of course, you've got to get these lined up. This is crucial here for who gets the victory. Now it's going to line up here Vettel's wing, because then we can use that as the guide, really. It was about getting it lined up there perfectly on the line. And who's actually ahead? It looks like Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso wins the Grand Prix by about, what's that? Half a front wing, not even that, by about 3 centimetres. And Toto Wolff says absolutely ecstatic. Imagine you had to wait there to see who actually won the Grand Prix. But there you can see Mercedes boys, of course, is very, very happy as well, since they're based in Brackley. So great result there for the Mercedes team. Now looking here at Kamui Kobayashi, he finishes in 9th place, so he seems pretty happy there, finishing in P9. Taking a look at the end results, and it'll be Fernando Alonso who wins officially by a dead heat, an exact to 3 decimal places, exactly the same with Sebastian Vettel. But we saw it was literally 2 or 3 centimetres that won the race for Alonso. With our teammate Kubica rounding off the podium in 3rd, we come home in P4. With Hülkenberg, a good result for the German in P5, with Kvyat just about getting the better of Pascal Wehrlein come the end of the race. And you've got Lewis Hamilton's only exactly 1 second behind Verline coming into the race, so some great pace in this race as well from Hamilton. We have Kamui Kobayashi in P9, with Adrian Sutter rounding off the top 10, with Mick Schumacher in 11th, and Ryu Haryanto somehow getting a point out of this race. How has he done that? Ryu Haryanto with some great pace. I mean, we saw it early on, he wasn't too far off of us, so Haryanto at McLaren's home race just scrapes the points finish. Stroll comes home in P13, with Carlos Sainz a second behind in 14th, so some pretty good pace, all things considered, really, from Carlos Sainz. And Carmen Jordan in 15th, beating Pierre Gasly, and Massachusetts didn't have the best race in the world, down in 17th. And Charles Leclerc, last of the finishers, in 18th, with Max Verstappen and Ricciardo both retiring from the race. So now then, moving on to the drivers' point standings, and Alonso now extends his lead at the top of the standings now to Sebastian Vettel. The two of them have just been inseparable in this race, and now Vettel gets him into second place in the standings, albeit nearly 2 race victories worth of points now behind Alonso. We drop down into third now, 1 point behind Sebastian Vettel. The teammate Kubica in fourth. Pascal Wehrlein running off the top 5 in the second of the Mercedes. We have Daniel Kvyat in 6th, 3 points clear of Hamilton. In 7th with Verstappen in 8th. Suttil in 9th, 4 points clear now of Mick Schumacher. Runs off the top 10 with Charles Leclerc in 11th and Lance Stroll running off the top half in 12th. Vern's in 13th on 30 points, joint with Kobayashi and indeed Nico Hulkenberg, but on better result, Vern remains in 13th for the time being, which I'm pretty sure that's going to change fairly soon though. Then we have Ricciardo down in 16th place, with Haryanto now in 17th, now actually moves ahead on merit now of Pierre Gasly. He's on 2 points with Massachusetts running off the point scorers, leaving only Sainz and Jordan still yet to score. And finally now moving on to the constructor standings, and Mercedes lead 28 points clear of Williams, with Red Bull in third, quite a way behind, 62 points off, and now 8 points clear of Ferrari, who are in fourth. And Ferrari themselves are now 19 points clear of Toyota. Then we have Sauber in 6th place with 72, now only 2 points clear now of Haas, so the battle for 6th really is heating up. And if Renault can get their act together, get some more good results on the board like they have today, then they could well get involved in that fight. They've still got quite a gap to close though, a gap of 31 points currently as things stand. And we have McLaren in 9th now on 3 points. You now move ahead on merit of Toro Rosso, who are in 10th on 2. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, vote for your driver of the day with the poll link that will be in the video description. Also leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're new and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Also check out the wiki for this season, past seasons, all the teams, all the drivers, so if you want to catch up on everything that's ever happened and maybe even a sneak peek of what's coming up in the future. So thanks for watching, I'll see you all next time.